So my name is Jason Plot something. My story is about the time that I had strawberry jam on my penis and I met this woman named Mrs. B. Awesome time. She's fucking legendary, man. This is great. All right. So I'm a photographer for the York Daily Record Sunday News. And I do a lot of career days for high school kids. And if you've ever done a career day for high school kids, they never ask questions. So usually I'll bring in like candy or money or something to bribe them to ask questions. So this one time, every once in a while these kids will ask, have you ever pissed off someone while you're on an assignment? I'm like, you know what I do, right? I'm a photographer for the York Daily Record Sunday News. Of course I piss people off. I have been pushed and punched and shoved and spit on and cursed at. I've fallen through a roof during a fire. I've been bitten in the ass by a dog. And in this one particular incident, it involved a fire hose, toxic material, and nudity. So it's 2002, and it's October, and it's very cold. And we get a call that there was a toxic spill on Route 83. So they send us up there to get some photos. And I don't know if you know how hard it is to block off exits on 83, but you have to totally block it off and stop traffic and reroute stuff, so it takes forever to get there. And by the time you get there, they keep the media at either exit one end or exit the other end. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, that's not good enough. I can't stay at one end or the other, so I need to sneak around, and I need to get to where things are happening so I can get a photograph. So I climb over fences, and I'm going through farmland, and I'm walking around, and I get to the point in between these two periods where I see where they are. So I climb up on Route 83, I come over the barrier, and I get up there, and the first thing I see when I turn to my right is a Pennsylvania State Police officer. So suddenly, we lock eyes, and I look at him, and suddenly I turn into Joey Tribbiani from Friends, and I'm like, how you doing? And he's like, how did you get here? And I'm like, I just walked over. I just came over here. And, and I noticed about 30 yards up, there were guys, and they were cleaning up the toxic material. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I go up there and I get some photographs? And he's like, no. He goes, but some of the toxic stuff, some of the materials, it's on the road over there. And I'm like, oh, I took that as an invitation of, you should go over there and take photographs of that material. So what do? Walk over on Route 83, I stand over there and I start taking photographs. Probably not in this pose like this, so we don't usually do this, but I didn't want to fuck up Randy's shot. So anyway, so suddenly I hear, what the fuck are you doing? And I turn around and it's a firefighter. And I said, well, I'm with the York Daily Record. He goes, I know who the fuck you are. My question is, what the fuck are you doing? And so I'm just taking some photographs. He goes, this is contaminated material. You've been contaminated. You need to be detoxed. We're taking your clothes and we're taking your equipment. It is a very cold October morning. He says, we're going to hose you down and we're going to detox you. And I said, hold it. You're not touching my clothes. You're not touching my equipment. I want to reach out to my editors and I want to get this thing straightened out before you do anything. So this is 2002. I have a beeper. I don't have a phone. So the police have to reach out to my editors and let them know what happens, and I have to wait for them to call back. So I'm thinking to myself going, dude, I'm the fucking press. You ain't doing shit to me. So it comes back, the message comes back, and the cop says, yeah, your editor says, take his clothes, don't touch his equipment. So I have to go behind a fire truck and on 83 and get naked while they give me this paper-thin yellow banana suit jumpsuit to put on, and then they turn the fire hoses on me. It's cold. But here I am, right? So, but the cool thing was, at least the cool thing for a moron like me, was that I could stay there for at least another half an hour. So while everyone else is on the other end, and I'm freezing, I'm happy because I'm taking photographs of things that no one else could take photos of. And I'm going, oh, this is awesome, this is cool, this is great. And then I get back to my boss and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna change first. And they're like, no, you can't. Because we have this mandatory meeting with the United Way and you have to come in with all these people and you have to go to this meeting. And I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. So So I'm like, okay, so these guys are in suits, and I show up in this yellow banana jumpsuit, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I walk in, and it's like I won the effing lottery. I'm like, my head's up proud. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm wearing a banana yellow jumpsuit. I'm fine. So I come for the meeting, and the big hump of this whole thing was I found out like 2 months later that the firefighters, they told me at another fire that the materials that were on the road were not toxic, and they were just pissed at me because I snuck around to where I wasn't supposed to go, and they intentionally fucked with me for doing what I did. So to answer the question, do I sometimes piss people off when I'm on assignment? Hell yeah. Thank you.